Heyo, it's Gizmo, Heyo Lads, and welcome to the very first episode of our Factorio playthrough. Now, the Space Age update just came out, and so we're going to be playing, well, to space. That's the name of the series, is Make It to Space, and that's what we're going to be trying to do. So, very first start, back in, it's been a while since I've played Factorio. Um, for a while, a couple updates I haven't played. I've been playing other games, just enjoying my time, getting schoolwork done and all that stuff. But we're back. We're going to be reviving the old YouTube series. Alright, so first step is going to be getting all the stuff that we need. So we got pretty lucky. The starting point is a pretty decent point. Looks like there's a lot of openness. Not a lot of trees, though, so it's going to be an issue for the pollution. But we've got water pretty close. We've got coal, steel, or iron, stone, and coal. Two things of coal, so 3k and 366k. Some more coal over here, 257 and 1.9 million. We've got some uranium ores, only 17k. That's not too bad. Right out of the gate. And then we got some bad guys down there. Like I said, not too bad of a start. We're gonna go ahead and there doesn't look to be any rocks. There's some rocks down here. The rocks are great because they provide you with coal and stone without mining too much. So we're gonna grab some of these. The other issue is there's not a lot of trees, which means we're not going to get a lot of power poles. That's unfortunate. The power poles are definitely necessary for a lot of things. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to craft 9 of those guys, because they're used in the drills anyways. Looks like no coal from these guys. Right? And we're going to be progressing through this game, hopefully pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and basically build towards science. So we're going to try to get as much science as possible as quickly as possible and not really worry about anything else. Because the whole point of it is science, and so we're going to automate the science, and once we get new science, we automate that science, and so on and so forth, and you just keep doing that until you have nothing left. Alright, so it didn't give us any coal inside of that area. This coal is a very small coal deposit, which is not helpful at all. So you don't need much coal just to get this bad boy started. Let's see. All we have to do is get just a little bit. Yeah, there's not a lot of stones. Definitely not something that we can work with. Alright. Let's see, number 1 and 2. Let me go ahead and put in these bad boys. And we are going to use the wood just because not much else I can use, so we'll use the wood. Grab some iron. Once we hit the iron, we're going to try to go to steam power as quickly as possible. Just so we can get it going. But that is going to require copper, which means we're going to need a lot more of those miners. Grab some more wood, so that we have the resources that we need. Alright, that'll produce the iron that we need. Alright, and iron plate. Sweet. So then what we need to do is get some copper, get some steam power, and then automation will be the red science. So this, we need to create a lab. Alright. So I'm not going to be worried about some of the things that come with, because there's like certain achievements you can get. I'm not going to be worried about those. Whatever achievements we get. So I'm not, like I said, not worried. Now, there are some achievements that I won't get, just to give you a heads up. I did start playing a Space Age series, and then the sound, I had a sound quality issue, and so it didn't turn out that great, and so I restarted the series, and so some achievements I've already gotten. So if you're curious, that's why. Let's get some more wood. The quickest way to start is just to grab whatever resource you can, grab that copper, place it into a chest, and then you can just resupply it with the copper that you get. And then just grab as many iron plates as you can, and just start making a ton of these miners. And these guys. Yep. And then we can grab some wood. There we go. So now that they give us a lot of iron plate, so we just keep making iron plate and keep making these stone guys. Grab the coal, fuel them up, and you should be good to go. 14 coal. We can take the wood out. And now we can put the coal back in. We can do half there. We come down here and we can split the coal up amongst the miners as well. Again, we're trying not to use the wood because we're going to be using that for the electric poles. This has no resources left. Okay. Grab some coal. There we go. So 322. Fine by me. Lots of iron plate. So again, more burner mining drills. We'll grab some more chests. I can now do iron chests. That's good. You can see we now got pipes, and we've got the steam engine, the boiler, and the offshore pump. That's very helpful. Then the next thing we're going to get is hopefully the electric components. That's what I was looking for. I was trying to search for words in my head, couldn't find them. But no, hopefully we're going to get the electric components. So grab another drill, do 3 of these guys down here. And this will be for the copper. This will unlock electric components for us. There we go. Now we just need to supply it with, we'll supply it with wood. There we go. That'll give us copper. And then we just keep doing this, grabbing coal, applying it to the iron, and supplying it to the copper area. And once that's done, we can make another chest eventually. Right. Put in half and half. There we go. Alright, so now we can go ahead and we can create this research lab. All we need is electronic circuits, which means I need copper. And then we've got our inserters and all that stuff. We started moving to the electric side of things. We just need to get our electric miners and we should be good to go. Electronic circuits, yep. Just need some more copper. Or iron, actually. Apparently I need 36 iron. Alright, go ahead and build a research lab. And then a iron chest. We're going to go ahead and build the iron chest first, because that's going to be... The iron chest will be more useful than the other things, because I can grab from here, place back in, once these guys run out. They'll supply themselves with coal for a while. This coal you can just kind of use for down here, on anything that is out down here. So 14, 7, and then place into this guy. Alright, T. Cool. We got our red science. So we're going to make 10 of these guys. And what we're going to do is place down the red science, which will get us the automation. And then from automation, we're going to start automating everything right off the bat. In the last playthrough that I did, one of the problems was that I did not automate everything right away. And that caused issues. Because then we were running out of resources, running out of things. And when I needed to get to the next set of resources, I just didn't have enough stuff, and it took a really long time for me to build anything, because again, I just didn't have anything automated. And so the whole purpose of automation is to automate, and that's what we're going to do. But the first step is electric mining drills. That'll be the most useful, because right now all we have is the regular mining drills, and these things take coal to run. And so the biggest step that you can make to increasing your productivity is just going straight to electric mining drills. Now that requires us to have the offshore pump, a boiler, and 2 steam engines. Now you do need 2 steam engines because the ratio is 1 boiler to 2 steam engines. So, all right, put a bunch of coal in there, so that one should be good. Then that guy's good. This guy needs coal, so we'll put 20 in, 10 in there, 10 in here. We're good to go. Alright, you need coal. Cool. We've got stone, iron plate. Alright, we just need an offshore pump, which means we need a ton more iron, because the iron gears are one of the biggest things. They're really annoying. Now, the reason I haven't increased the size of this area mainly is just because it would create we would need a lot of coal, and so it'd be a lot of running back and forth just to set this area back up. And that just takes a lot of time. A absolute ton of time. Alright, what we're going to do is actually rotate this guy around, rotate this guy, and press H. Burner mining drill cannot be flipped. Good to know. Alright. Then place down a chest in front of it, just like always, and pull from here. There we go. So now this will give us a lot of coal, and we can just keep up with everything. Because the next step is going to be... Nope, I need half of this out. Thank you. Half and half. There we go. Alright, so the next step is going to be getting those boilers down. Once these boilers, I've got 2 of these guys. Yep, so we're going to go ahead and create a bunch of these small electric poles, which requires trees. This is the biggest issue that we have with not having a bunch of trees near our base, is just grabbing all the wood that we need to supply the electric is going to take a while. So, offshore pump right here, and then these guys, and a boiler. Now, this guy does require steam, so it requires electricity to run, which isn't a big deal, or not electricity, coal to run, which isn't a big deal because we can use that pretty quickly. Alright, we're going to make a lot of these guys. As many as we can get. We're going to destroy all these trees to do so. Not a bad starting area. We've got plenty of ground to build things and to build our base, so I'm not super worried about it. And we are going to set up our base pretty soon, start automating all of our stuff. Alright, and then this will be connected here. And then you can just run this out the entire length. So this will be the copper area setup, and then you can run it up again. And then you can have the coal area. There we go. And then you can run it over to your iron as well, and you'll have your iron set up. Alright, so now once we start doing the electricity, we'll be good to go. Alright, so now we just need to make 10 of these guys, so we need to have a lot more copper and iron. We're going to grab this, and we're going to grab 10 of those. So, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there we go. That'll get us 10 signs, which we're going to use to get the electric mining drills right off the bat. Alright, now we got a bunch of coal. Put half into there, that's 25. So yeah, once you got everything set up, your coal's pretty quick. You get quite a lot of it, so that's not a big deal. And you can just place everything in here. There we go. And there we go. So now we're going to have plenty of copper, plenty of iron. Alright. And then we can start placing all of this inside of here. So that's 7. And then... Yep, we need more coal. And then once we set this guy up, we have that. Go ahead and put the rest of the science in there. And I'm going to go ahead and supply the coal to the power area. So that way we can start researching all the stuff we need to. And again, we're going to start researching the electric mining drill right off the bat. So we can hop away from those manual mining drills. I say manual, but the coal mining drills as quick as possible. And so this is going to take a lot of coal just to get going. The electric mining drill, it's going to take a while to research. You can see this takes 25, whereas this takes 10. So technically automation would be quicker. But automation requires us to have a lot of resources coming in, and we just don't have that kind of resources. So one thing we are going to do is start setting up transport belts, because these are always helpful, and they can set up, you can get it set up pretty quickly to automate your base so you don't have to worry about certain things. Now, a good setup for this is we're going to go and take these chests away. And so what you can do is place these guys down and cancel some of these being made, and then grab some burner inserters. And so for your coal area, this is the setup that you can have that'll make your coal an automated process. So if we go in here, place down some tracks. So one forward, one forward, one forward, like that. Go to your other mining drill, and you can do this as many times as you want. Oops, this should be... Technically it should be like this, and then this. So like this, this, and this. And then what you do is you place down your mining drill like this, and your belts like this, and then the grabbers that you have, you can place these down here, and these grabbers will grab the coal that this produces, and then put it back into the actual miner. And so now the coal's automated, because all of those grabbers will resupply all of your miners with coal. And so now everything's just completely automated, and you don't have to worry about any of it. This is a pretty easy way to get a quick setup for your coal and your iron. You get it just automated pretty much right off the bat. Again, we are going to move to electric mining drills pretty quickly, but for our coal area, that's a decent setup. And then over here, you can just grab these guys and have them put in the coal. And run your coal over here like this. And now these guys will never run out of coal. So what we can do is put this back around. Now this isn't going to be an efficient setup. This isn't going to be the setup that we stay with. This is just a meantime, this is what we're doing kind of thing. You can see this is a pretty bad setup right now. But this gives us the coal to the areas that we need the coal, and we don't have to worry about anything else. And then all we have to do is just pull the iron from these guys when they're done. And so this is an iron setup that's pretty quickly automated. We don't have to worry about anything else. And then you can just put down as much of these miners as you need and pull from wherever you need to pull from. Pretty good, just make a bunch of these. So we will be using these guys for a very long time. You don't really get better smelters for a while, so I'm not super worried about trying to make these guys as efficient as possible. Alright, so that's all the copper, or all the iron, and then we have copper as much as we need. And what we can do, again, is just build a chest behind this guy, and just place down a bunch of extra copper that we just don't need. And that'll be super helpful for setting everything up. And then we can just build a bunch of more miners for all of the coal, and then you can have a ton of coal set up pretty quickly. Again, it's going to be the same process as last time. You're going to do the belt with the miner. And then this guy doesn't have anything, just due to the fact that I have not done the setup with him yet. Alright, there we go. And this can go out and down. This will feed itself. You just have to put in one coal to get it started. Not wood, coal, but whatever. Alright, back down here for more iron. Because we need some more grabbers. And we need some more belts as well, so might as well get that all set up. Let's see. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Alright. Then, again, out, and over. If you wanted to, you could technically keep this coal set up for the entire time. You don't have to use electric mining drills for this, because of the fact that this is just a good setup for it. This won't give you your full area being mined, but this will make the coal self-sufficient. Now, it will cut down on your electricity usage, but it won't produce as much coal per second as you could produce if you had it set up with the electric mining drills. So we're going to grab some coal, and we're going to run it all the way down to the, down here, to this guy, so that way we can get everything set up. Alright, so this guy, now that should be enough coal for the energy. So the research should finish, hopefully. Oh, I also forgot, technically, this uses 25 science packs, so this is 10, this is 25, and it takes 10 seconds per science pack, basically. So we need to create 10, 15 more. Alright, so once we get 15 more, we'll be good to go. And then what we can start working on is getting all of the electric stuff set up. So what we're going to do is start setting up a smelting area. And I want my smelting area to be out in the open. I don't want it to interfere with anything else. And I want the coal and the iron smelting areas to be separate. So that way we can have them on separate tracks and they don't interfere with each other space-wise. So we're going to go ahead and create a good distance between these guys. So we'll set it up here and make sure that there's a 3 space in between. 1, 2, 3, like this. And you can set up as many as you want. I set them up in groups of 5. Like so. That way, you know your numbers. So 5 times whatever all this does, 0.31. So 5 times 0.31, and then if you double that, it'll be 10 times 0.31, and that way it keeps it nice and even for us. And then we're going to start setting up the transport belts all the way over there. Why are we not researching? Oh, because I haven't put that in here. Alright. So we're going to set the transport belts all the way up over there. Why are we not? It should be... There it is. Shift click. I think I was clicking the wrong thing. Alright. So what we're going to do is have it so the iron sets up, and it will transport the iron all the way over here. And this will be the smelters that we have. So we can set up a nice long belt for this area. And then we can grab the iron off of here onto these guys. Like so. Again, just a nice long belt setup. Now the thing you have to keep in mind is, technically speaking, we need to have iron go to one side of this and coal go to the other side of this. And so what we're going to do is take a grabber or an inserter, and we're actually going to insert the coal from one side of this belt to the other. So we're going to take this guy and go from here, and then it'll insert into this guy. And so now this, all the coal will be on the right side of the belt. And then all we have to do is take the iron to the left side of the belt, and we can have our smelters set up. And the smelters will be automated, because the coal will come up, so we don't have to worry about anything else. So again, this is a really good beginner setup for the smelting purposes of pretty much iron and coal. And then what we're going to do is hit B, because B opens your blueprints, and you're going to go ahead and make a blueprint. So Alt B, you're going to make a blueprint of this. All right, blueprint. This is going to be your smelting blueprint. So beginner smelter. And you're just going to go ahead and create blueprint. Then what you're going to do is go into your inventory, hit B, and you're going to go ahead and put in your beginner smelter. Now, this blueprints section, all blueprints that you have will be saved inside of that blueprint section. So I can hit B and open it up. And this goes across games. Now, if you just hit B and you create a blueprint of something like this, and I hit create blueprint, and I got my inventory, if we die, this blueprint gets destroyed. It gets deleted. And so we don't have it anymore. And that's something that I learned the hard way, because I actually ended up dying in one of my other games. Didn't realize that the blueprints weren't saved. In books, even if you have them saved, they don't stay. And so I ended up losing pretty much all of my blueprints that I had, which was a pain, an absolute pain. Alright, so one thing we're going to do is run the electricity out with the belt as well. So you will need electricity up here, because we will be using the electric electric inserters for these guys. You see electric mining drills almost done. We just don't have enough research for it. Just 2 more and we should be good. So now these guys run off of electricity. So right now they're not doing anything because we just don't really have electricity for them. That's perfectly fine. We also don't have iron for them to take, so they're not doing anything for multiple reasons. But these guys will output to a belt. This belt will always go up like this. So now we get the electric mining drill, so now we can start making these electric mining drills. So this will create more iron per second. This mines at a rate of 0.5. This mines at a rate of 0.25. You can read that mining speed, 0.25 and 0.5. You are out of iron. That's okay. And then once something's out of iron, we can just move it. Again, we can just put this to the other side, like this, and like this. Oops. There's space between. And what we're actually going to do is start setting up for the iron to be mined out to the other area. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of these mining drills, because again, we're working with electric now, so we don't need these. So we're going to get rid of all these. And then we're going to start right in with the electric mining drills. So we're going to get rid of this belt, get rid of this box, get rid of all this. Because we just don't need any of this right now. We're pretty much done with the coal going to our mining drills. And getting this set up as quickly as we did is very good. It's, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of time in coal. You can go right to electricity. And so that's basically what we're doing. It's going right to electricity. So now you can see all of the coal will be mined to that right side, and then what we're going to do is set up electric mining drills, so we can get rid of these. Put these guys, put them in your hotbar, and like this. Now you can see this area around it. This area around it is the area that's going to mine. So if you keep it separate like this, there's space in between, what's going to happen is it's going to mine. This area will mine this entire area, and you can overlap it if you want to, but then it'll start mining the same products. So this will be the most efficient. It won't give you the most resources per second because you're going to have them as far apart as possible, but it will be the most efficient. It'll mine out the entirety of this iron area. So now, these guys will output to the left like this. So what you have is the coal on the right side, the iron on the left side, and now you've automated your entire iron smelting process. And so now up here, all we have to do is take these inserters and a chest, and what we can do is take more belts on this side. We can go ahead and just wrap these guys together like this, pull them in, pull them up, take one of these guys down here, place a chest behind it, and now all of your panels, your iron panels, will be automated, and you'll produce quite a lot. Try to place this in my hotbar. There we go. You can see now it's automated. So now all of this iron will be turned into these iron plates, and you have an automated process. Now the next thing you can do is we need to pull some coal all the way down to our electricity generator, because currently we don't have any. So you could go here, use filter, and you can put the filter down for coal. So it's only going to ever use coal. It's never going to pull anything else. And so we don't have to worry about it pulling the iron ore. It'll only ever pull the coal. You can see we've got too many iron plates being made and not enough people putting them in the chests. And so you can actually fix that. You can grab this guy and you can just wrap it around like this. You can just make a square and essentially just create more of these inserters real quick. And then once you make more of those inserters, you're just going to put them at the cardinal directions around the chest. So north, south, east, and west. Like this, this, and this. And you just move the power pole there. And then these guys will all put it in. So you should have enough of them processing to work. All right. Have it be fast enough. Now this guy's going to go all the way down. And, yep, so we're all the way down. I'm actually going to take it up a little bit. Reason for that is just so we have enough space for more of them when we want to place more. Over here. Like that. Yep, and then it's going to go all the way down. And that will give us the coal that we need. And you can actually just use an electric inserter here. So place the electric inserter there. Take the power pole over to it. We're going to make sure that there is space in between these guys. So this. And we can actually move this over as well, just to keep it somewhat even. There we go. Another thing you can do is you can actually blueprint this guy as well. This way you're not setting everything up by hand. And this can be just your steam engine. And create blueprint. So we can blueprint this whenever we want to. We just sit here and just keep blueprinting this stuff out like this. And this way we know exactly how many we have going to be placed. So you just rotate this guy and place it on the same side, like this, the other side. And there you go. Now you have the steam engines that you're going to be placing, and you know exactly where you're putting everything before you're actually placing it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set up the automation. This will increase the speed at which we produce things, because automation is super helpful. And so we just need some more iron, real quick, iron plate. We're going to grab 10 automation packs, because we only need 10 to get this guy going. Then the rest, we're actually going to go ahead and create belts real quick, so we can finish the automation of the steam engines. And 10 of those, this guy goes down. Come on. There we go. So now the coal will go down here, and this guy will automate the process of putting it into the steam engines. And so you can make more of these if you want to. That's 4, so I need 2 of these guys. And then this will get you some more electricity. Right now we're not using that much, 1.8. We only have like 4 drills, I think, so it's not too bad. Alright. Yeah, that guy needs coal, that's fine. Not worried about these guys anymore. We have plenty of copper. You don't really need a lot of copper in the beginning. You do need a lot of steel in the beginning. So I'm not really worried about the copper being unused efficiently. So we got some research packs. We're going to put in 5 of these guys. Now, we're not going to run out of electricity. We'll be producing 1.8 megawatts for this entire time. All we want to do is get the automation research out of the way. Once we have that set up, we can do everything else. Alright, so currently, we do not have enough iron supply going in. You can see, we're not using all of the iron guys that we could. And so we're going to go ahead and make some more electric mining drills. And actually, I'm going to get rid of these guys right now. I'm just going to make these electric mining drills so I can get this set up as fast as possible. I'm not going to be too worried about the energy output until I'm actually using all of the energy that we need. So, you don't really need more energy if you're not using it. It's good to have more when you need it, but right now we're, each one's only using 360, and we have 1.8 megawatts, so we can do like 4 of these setups and we'll be fine. So, putting on 5 more drills is not going to exhaust our energy uses. Our energy. Alright, here we go. And 1 more. There we go. So now we just have to set up the power poles. I do them in between like this, just so you can keep everything similar. It all works. Then just output this guy yet again. And there we go. So now we've got our iron and we've got our coal. Let's see, add more research and we're good to go. So we're not producing as much iron as we could. So you can calculate this. So the mining speed is 0.5 a second. This guy runs at 15 items a second. So it's 7.5 on each side. And so you need 7.5. So you need, what, 15 of these guys? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You calculate that out, that's 1 for every 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So you basically need double this. Alright, so now that we have automation done, we can go ahead and plate down, we have long-headed inserters too. But with automation comes the ability to automate some of our assembling. And we're going to go ahead and make some assembling machines, so that way we can automate this process really, really quickly. And so the first thing we're going to automate is our inserters. And so we need to set up our copper area as well. And then we're also going to automate some of these drills too, because the copper area now needs a smelting area too, because we don't have a smelting area for the copper. And so we're going to go into our blueprints, pressing B, hit blueprint stacker. We're going to go ahead and place this guy, let's see. I want a good distance between them, because in the future we're going to be running with trains, and so you need to think about the future and some of the future technology you have. And so trains is going to be a thing that we're going to be running with. So, let's see. This should be enough space, but I'm going to give it a little bit more space. I'm going to give it just a little bit more just in case. I don't want to undersell ourselves. So, put down some of these guys. And place some of these. Alright, and then we can set up the electric mining drills over here for the copper. So we'll set it up the edge over there, and there. Alright, and then I just need some more electric power poles, which we can just make tons of. As many as we can, because we have trees to do so. So then place these guys down, and you're going to take these belts all the way out. Now, the hardest part is going to be crossing this over, because right now we have belts put down. What we're probably going to do is use inserters just to make it a little bit easier on us for now, because we don't have, and what we need is this guy, logistics. So if we can do logistics, that's great, but we'll see. So I need 20 of these, 5, 10, 15, 20. I can make a lot of them. So we're going to place down our assembling machines, and we're going to start assembling all of the products that we need. So the first step is I actually want to start automating some science packs. And so copper plate and iron gear wheels. Well, the easiest way to do this is going to be up here. What we're going to do is place down some automation machines, constructors. The first one is going to be here. The second one's going to be here. Now what we're going to do is hit iron gear wheel, then we're going to hit science pack. And you're going to grab from here, like so. And what will happen is that we can actually start getting rid of the science packs, put on these guys. Now what's going to happen is this guy will start creating iron gear wheels. Press Alt and you can see what these things craft and what they're holding. Alright, and then you can place down this guy into here. And so this will be all of the iron gear wheels that you need. And then you just put in the copper. You do the copper by hand. Because right now we don't have the ability to put copper all the way up here. And then you can just place this into the science. And now you've automated your science. And you can see this science uses 0.1 gear wheels a second for 0.1 science. This creates 1 a second. So technically I could have 10 of these buildings and I'd be making 1 red science a second. So if I wanted to, I could place down some more automation buildings to get that 1 science a second if we wanted to. But first, we're going to start automating some other things. So the next step for automation is we're going to get the first thing that I'm going to use the most of is probably going to be these inserters. You can see these inserters require iron plate, iron gear wheels, and electronic circuits. Now electronic circuits are made from copper. So first, we're actually going to go ahead and finish setting up this copper. And we're also going to go ahead and get some transport belts automated as well, because we're going to be using a lot of transport belts. And so what we can do over here is grab some of the automation machines again, one here and one here. What we're going to do is grab from here and grab from here. So this will be the iron gear wheels, and this will be the transport belts. This. And now, place down a power pole, and you're going to pull from here to here, because the belt uses the iron gear wheel and the iron plate. Now it uses 1 a second of each. Well, we're using 1 iron gear wheel a second anyways, so now we're producing 2 belts a second. So we're going to output a chest over here with a inserter as well. And then this inserter is going to automate the process of making belts. So having these belts automated will save us a lot of time and hassle because we're not going to have to do it ourselves. So whenever we need some, we just can go back up and grab it. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and pull these belts all the way over like this. I'm going to go ahead and put this at a downward angle. Now what we're going to do, and this is not efficient, this is not what I normally do, but right now we don't have logistics researched, so we're actually going to go ahead and pull like this. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of this guy down here. And so we're going to place another inserter, and we need to craft some more stone furnaces. So now we're making tons of copper, and we're making tons of iron. We're going to grab one of these inserters. I'm going to go ahead and place it down the wrong way. And what we're going to do is use filters whitelist, and this will only pull coal. And then you can rotate it the right way and place down an electric pole. Make sure it's connected to the power. There we go. So now that'll only pull coal. So we're going to make some more inserters. We're going to pull these guys off like this. And make sure they're connected to power. And again, just make some more. And again, connect it to the power. There we go. And one more there. Alright. That's done. So now we can go ahead and do the same setup we do. The only problem is we can't combine these copper plates. But instead, what I'm going to do is pull the coal from over here instead of down there. So coal will be pulled from over here. And then what I can do is take this belt all the way out and down as far as we need it to. On the fly, creating belts yourself isn't a big deal, but we'll have a backup of them eventually. So there we go. So now the coal is going out that way, and we can get rid of this guy. And so now we can pull the copper into the same area. Like that. There we go. Alright, so what we're going to do is go ahead and pull the copper plate inwards, like this. and downwards, and this guy can be getting rid of. There we go. So now we've got our copper and we've got our iron. Both automated, both set up, and both set up for success. So, and we can do the same concept we did on the other side over here, and just set up all of these guys to pull the copper into this chest. So now we've got our copper and our iron, and that's the very beginning setup of copper and iron. The next thing we need to do is add some more copper, because we don't have enough. And so these guys require electric mining drills, which again require our logistics. And what we're going to need is the logistics to fix the copper, and then we're also going to need to start setting up these guys in a cohesive path. So they'll, basically the output of the iron and the output of the copper, they'll come back down together and we'll create a main bus through here. Now the main bus will be in the very center, because if we have train stations, the train station will go on either side, and the main bus will literally just go down the center of the train station. So now we're going to go ahead and get some research done. So next thing we want to do is grab fast inserter, gun turrets, and we're going to go with military. Then we're going to go with lamps and stone wall, and then radars and repair packs. So the reason I'm doing it in this order is fast inserters will help us move faster, and we still have electricity, and we can set these up. Then gun turrets are going to be set up because our pollution is going to start drawing these bugs in. You're going to have a lot of bugs coming at you. So these red things on the map, these are little like bug nests, and the pollution actually draws them in. So once the pollution goes all over top of a bug nest, it'll draw them in. Then the lamps will help us see at night. The stone walls will protect us from those bugs as the gun turrets shoot, and then the radars will show us everything. And then the repair pack is just for if anything gets damaged. Alright. So now that we have logistics set up, we have the splitters and we have the underground belt. And so we're going to make a couple of these each. And so we're going to make the underground belt and the splitters. So now with the underground belt being made, what I can do is instead of having this set up, I can take it out here and run it down. And get rid of these guys. And then come back up here to our automated belts. So we can grab these belts. You see we already have 169 of them. That's pretty good. We're going to run these guys. And then all you have to do is run this to this side. And now your copper is automated like that. So over here, we're going to go ahead and set up some more drills. And set up more power poles. Then we need to place down the belts again. And there we go. So now we've got the belts and we've got the mining drill set up. So now we can add more mining drills if we want to. So now what we're going to do is, since we have these belts being automated and we have the underground belts as well as the splitters, what we're going to start doing is making that main bus that I was talking about. So we're going to take this belt. We're actually going to output this belt, not over here. We're going to run it really far down. So take these guys out. We don't need any of this right now. We're going to go ahead and run this guy like this over to the side of it. And the underground belt will take it out. And then we're going to figure out kind of where the center is. We'll get the exact center later, but for now, we're just going to kind of figure out where the center is. It looks like it's right here. So we're going to go ahead and take the copper out this way. We're going to do the same exact thing with the iron as well. So, take this up, and the iron can go this way. And again, oops, take it out like this. So now you've got your iron being automated as well. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all these guys, because the iron's no longer coming here. Not that big of a deal. And we're going to reset this all up, just in a different location. Now you can see a current problem. We're not producing enough coal. Now that's an issue. So we need to make some more coal areas. But we can also see that we ran out of iron over here for these guys. And that's okay, because we're currently creating more iron than what we need, as can be seen by the fact that it's backed up. What we're not doing is creating more coal. And you can see the reason that we're not creating coal is because we're just not able to output it quick enough. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to get rid of that guy and put that down. And now this should be way more than enough coal for us to work with. So you can just go ahead and put coal inside of those guys. And so now down here, we're going to recreate another automation process. So you can see this is the copper area, and this can be expanded to the left, to the right, and downwards. And once the copper's gone, it can be expanded over top of it too. Then the iron can be expanded to the left, to the right, and upwards as well. And so we're going to leave some space. So we want to have the iron and copper smelting areas to be expandable to the left side. So we're going to start building things on this right side. And so again, we need to make sure that there's room for train tracks in the center, and that we have a stop-off area and a building area. So what we're going to do is create an automation area up here. So we're going to take a bunch of these automation assembly machines, and we're going to place them down over here and figure out exactly what we need to build certain things. We're going to leave some room in case this needs to expand as well. The first step, we're going to recreate the belt automation. So the belts, that's pretty easy. But the underground belt and the splitter both require transport belts. And so if you want to automate those, we're going to have a harder time doing that because it requires these belts to be automated. So what we can do is figure out exactly what those require moving forward. So if we place these down, I'm just going to grab this guy, place it down over here. So then this can be the underground belts, which requires the iron plate and transport belt. Okay, this requires the iron plate electronic circuits and transport belts. A little more complicated then. So what we have is the underground belt. All right, we're going to move this guy. Move this guy. I could have just changed their thing, but I decided to physically move them for some reason. So this guy will actually pull from the belts. Now this will pull from the iron that's going to be down the center, and these gear wheels, and then these gear wheels will pull from the iron as well. So you can see, well, assuming that this is iron plate, this will pull the iron plate from outside of here as well, like this. Then you will be all set up like that. So then you can just run these power poles ahead of time, figure out what you need. And now that will be your belts and your underground belts. So you can see your underground belts uses 2.5 a second, but you make 2 a second. So you technically need 2 underground belts to supply this, or 2 belts to supply this with enough belts to make underground belts at 1 a second. So it's 2.5 and 2. Now it's going to be output at a lesser rate, and that's perfectly okay. So then this guy, you need 2 belts a second, 2.5 plate, and then 2.5 of the electronic components. So electronic components we can place down, and you can see if we do this, this makes one electronic component a second. But this also requires the copper. So now we can go ahead and create some more of these guys. It requires copper wire, which is another thing that we have to automate in order to get this to work. But we can place down the grabber for the iron plate, and this will be the grabber for the iron plate, and the grabber for the electronic circuit. And then this will be the automation for our copper cable. And now our copper cable can be output here. Copper cable to the electronic circuit, and then this can go into that. Oh, that's the wrong one. So like this. And what we're going to do is actually run copper and iron together up to a point. So what I mean is, what I can do is take a splitter, and you can output priority left side filter the output priority right side filter the iron plate. So then if you have, we'll actually move that one forward. So right side filter iron plate. So now this right side will only ever output iron plate. And so what you can do is just go ahead and take iron and copper up the same way, but it will only ever output iron on the right side, and so you won't have copper plate running the entire way. We're going to go ahead and output the underground belts to a chest. We're going to output these splitters to a chest, and we're going to output these belts to a chest. Now, we're going to place down these chests, and then we're going to go ahead and restrict the chests. So I only want 1 full stack of the splitters, and I only want 1 full stack of the underground belts. Now, we don't need to run this at a 100% efficiency, because what's going to happen is that these underground belts and these splitters will get backed up into the chests, and then it'll start making these underground belts. Now, what you could do is have a secondary area for underground belts and redo this, and what you could do is have the underground belts be pulled in from over here for this guy, and then you'll have separate underground belt areas. But I'm not worried about having that. You could also have underground belts be made here, and then have them output to this belt as well. And then these guys would pull from that belt for the underground belts. It depends on how you want to have it set up. This is what I'm going to do. And then the other thing that I need to do is actually place down an underground belt here, like this. Not there. It needs to go... We're going to place down a red grabber, because these are long inserters. So long inserters are just... They are what they sound like, longer than normal. So the underground belt can go there, and that long inserter will grab from this guy to this guy for the belts. So now all we have to do is run the copper and the iron together, and the electricity as well. And you're all set up. So this bus that we have will also pull in electricity for us as well. There we go. You can see this is now automated. We just need a couple more power poles for us. And there we go. Just like that. Alright, so then down here what we need to do is pull in this iron. So this will go right here. It'll pull it upwards. Like this. And then we actually need to take this a little differently. Alright, because this is iron to both sides, which we don't want. We want iron to one side and copper to the other side. We're going to go ahead and take that out. Put it here. Run this belt back up. But we're going to run this guy up and then over. Now you can see that this iron is only being output to that left side. So what you're going to do is take an underground belt here, over to here. You're going to run the copper, and you're going to split the copper and then run the copper the same exact way as the iron right there. So now you have iron to one side, copper to the other side, and now you're automating your processes up here. And so now we're making our underground belts, and you can see our underground belts are working quite well. So what happens is this makes 2 a second. So one gets taken to this chest, one gets taken to this underground belt. Now this underground belt will make 50 because of the items. You can see stack size of 50. And then once that hits 50, all of these belts will basically only go to here. You can see it's also being split in between these guys. Now this guy is faster, so it will grab the splitters first. What's going to happen is these electronic circuits aren't being made quick enough, so this guy will get backed up waiting for the electronic circuits. And so you'll basically just be waiting for things to be built. And so you will still get your belts being automated. Alright, now the next step is going to be automating science. Now the science area is going to grow quite large very quickly. And so what you want to have is a nice, open, giant area for your science to be started. So all of our automation will be back here for any of our products that we need. And then all of our science will be automated somewhere over here for all of these science automation needs. And so what we can do is just start taking this main bus all the way out. And I'll probably take this main bus out off camera because it will take some time to build all of the belts and all the underground belts and everything that we need. So we also need to clear out this entire area. A nice straight path forward. And I'm going to start off by running all science, no matter what science it is, at a 1 science a second rate. Which, when you get into higher science things, is a lot. Like 1 science a second tends to be a lot once you get into things like military science and production science and all that stuff. So, running it at a 1 second rate will be kind of fast, but it's what I'm going to hold myself to, just to make sure that we're running science pretty quickly. Because the entire point of this game is basically to get to the science as quick as possible, and then automate what you can automate. So, let's see. We just need more belts. We're probably going to have to make the belts ourselves, just because that setup hasn't backlogged itself. Eventually these guys will. You can see this is 7, and over here this is 22. So that's almost done. Once that's done, this will get done, and then once that's done, it'll go back to the belts. So, also higher level crafting areas do give you faster crafting speeds, so you'll eventually get to a point where you're making them pretty quickly anyways. Apparently there was like 3 trees in the way right there. Alright, so over here is where we're going to make our science. So the red science is pretty easy. Alright, again, we're going to make a split off here. And this will go up as well. This will go up a good bit. And that's just to keep it out of the way of any train station that we might put down here. So again, this will have a train station that goes here, and the other track will go over here, and it'll be bumped out on either side. This will be the iron area for the train station, and then we're going to keep things separated just so that we can have a good split between things. Alright, so for science, what we need to do is grab the iron gear wheels. So, again, iron gear wheels. And also, as you saw, we also need the copper. So we're going to go ahead and put this down. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing we did last time, which is up and over, like that. And we're going to do the same thing for the copper that we did last time as well, which is have an underground belt. And then this can go up and over like that. And then we don't have any underground belts, but we will. And then we also have to run the power poles as well. So we can do that from here. So we're going to grab from here. And then we need another automation machine and some more stuff. Alright, so then we'll go ahead and place this. We also need 10 of these buildings, 10 of these assembling machines, because we are going to be running the science at a 1.0 rate, and since it uses the iron gear wheels at a rate of 1 a second, and we create 1 a second, or 0.1 a second, 0.1 times 10 is 1. So, we need 10 of those machines just to get it working. We can come back up here, and we can grab our belts. We can come over here and just grab a ton of copper and iron. And what we're actually going to do is set up a area so we can grab copper and iron and put it into the chests. And then we're going to create 10 of these guys. And then we're actually going to go ahead and make some more electric mining drills as well. But we're going to hold off on that for a little bit. Not for any particular reason, just we're going to just wait just a little while to do that. Alright. Chests can go down. And now we are storing the copper and we're storing the iron. And then we are processing this to automate our assembling of these small components. And then in the next episode, we are going to automate the assembling of assembly machines, and then automate the assembling of electric mining drills, as well as some inserters. But for now, that's all for this video. I hope you found it informational or enjoyable. If you did, go and give it a thumbs up. It helps me out greatly, and I really appreciate everyone that does. As always, folks, if you want to keep up to date on my past, present, or future videos that will be coming up, hit the subscribe button and bell notification. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye!